Man, what the? Slackers. Yep.
Hello, folks, and welcome once again to Umpteenth Time Hearing. I'm Bill, and I'm once again playing obscure songs from decades past, hoping that my umpteenth time hearing these numbers might well be your first time hearing something new, or perhaps just reminding you of a song that you haven't heard from many years now. And this week, we have one of the great lesser-known American bands of the 80s, and that is The Call. And I'm going to be playing one song of theirs that was never even released as a single, but it's mind-boggling to me that it wasn't. It is one of their best songs, if not their best. And I don't even know their whole discography, and I think it's their best song. This is definitely a group that I discovered while I was browsing the stacks at the radio station in college. A lot of the albums would have stickers on them where more senior DJ volunteers or radio station volunteers would have written their feedback and commentary, folks who knew the artist or whatnot. And having read the great reviews on a couple of these, I gave it a try and really got hooked. Now, the song In the River, which is what I'm going to be playing, as I say, wasn't even released as a single, so one of the lesser-known songs by the band, unless you're really a fan. There are a couple of other songs from other albums that you might have heard of. This song is from their fifth album, Into the Woods. On their very next album, a couple of years later, the title track, Let the Day Begin, was a bit of a hit, but was also used by Al Gore in his 2000 presidential campaign. And then the year prior to this album, 1986's Reconciled, I tell you, when I played the album and I heard the song I Still Believe, parentheses, Great Design, generally known as I Still Believe, was bugging the crap out of me. I knew I heard that song. And then as it happened, whatever much later it was, a couple of years probably later, I happened to watch the movie The Lost Boys, Kiefer Sutherland, vampire, mid-'80s movie. Yeah, that scene at the beach at the beginning where you've got Tim Capello rocking it out on a saxophone, singing I Still Believe, that's the Call song. And I was like, oh, of course, one of those moments. But for now, and I should also mention, when Reconciled came out, that was their fourth album, and they'd caught so much attention in the industry that they had the likes of Peter Gabriel, Jim Kerr of Simple Minds, as well as Garth Hudson and Robbie Robertson of the band, all working with them on this album. Now, here's a trivia question for the folks out there, one that I don't know the answer to, and I've always wondered. Peter Gabriel and Jim Kerr sang backing vocals on I Still Believe, and I happened to notice that Michael Biehn, who's the lead vocalist for The Call, and Jim Kerr sang backing vocals for Peter Gabriel in Your Eyes. So my question for anyone out there who's a Simple Minds fan is, did that triangle get completed? Did Michael Biehn and Peter Gabriel join together to sing backing vocals on any Simple Minds song? Anyone who knows it, please let me know in the comments below. Speaking of those comments, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button, ring the notification bell if you want to hear about upcoming episodes. Appreciate the likes, and certainly, as I said, any comments, including the answer to that question. For now, though, let's get right into it. This is The Call with a fantastic song, In the River.
When I was quite young,
I had learned to fear,
I was taught to listen.
but not to hear.
From my mother's arms,
I was cruelly torn,
and they whipped my ass
on the day I was born. Little brother, he died at the age of 5.
Said he lost his soul,
'Cause he was not baptized.
the river
the first rains fell,
We built it high,
and we built it well.
but the waters rose
Like a beast from hell,
Now my house is gone,
and the town as well.
so we gather here
For a silent prayer,
for the lives we lost.
and the love we share.
Still the river it flows,
And the heavens cry,
and we'll all be found in the river, 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 in the river.
What a fantastic song. And a great band. If you like that sound, they've got lots of other music out. You can find other videos on YouTube and whatnot. I really highly recommend them. And I don't have too much left in the wrap up for this one. I covered some of their hits at the beginning of the program, as well as a little movie tie-in there with Tim Capello covering their song for the movie The Lost Boys. Probably not going to run this movie tie-in too much more into the ground. I've been doing it for the last few videos, and really, most artists, whether by contributing to a soundtrack or so many who have appeared in movies, there's a lot of ways to tie those in. This was just a stretch of them that I ran with, and I'm not going to keep milking that one. But there is one last little tidbit I wanted to throw out there, something I didn't discover until recently. Now, Michael Biehn, that's B-E-E-N, not to be confused with Michael Biehn, B-I-E-H-N, also known as Kyle Reese. No, the lead singer of The Call did not play Kyle Reese in The Terminator. This is a different Michael Biehn, who sadly passed away in 2010, suffering a heart attack while working as a sound engineer for his son's band, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Excuse me, yes. But before then, back in 1988, he actually did have one film appearance himself. And that was, oddly enough, as John the Apostle in Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ. Struck me as a bit of an odd choice for a rock musician to make his one film appearance. It could just have been a matter of faith, and may very well be that too. But the other detail to keep in mind is, as I mentioned, Peter Gabriel was working with The Call back on their album Reconciled. Well, the soundtrack for The Last Temptation of Christ was done by none other than Peter Gabriel. Now, I don't know for a fact that he was Michael Biehn's foot in the door to appear in the movie. And if anyone out there does know the answer to that question, again, feel free to add that into the comments below, as well as your feedback on this program. Also, once again, I'll mention, if you're new to the channel, click on that subscribe button and ring the notifications bell to find out about other programs. I'll be cranking them out once a week after I'm getting through this first set to get me caught up after the lapse that I mentioned in the update earlier. But for now, that's going to cover it for this week. Actually, I'm sorry, I got one more program I'm putting out to start things off here again, so cover it for this program. And coming up next, a band that wanted to be thought of as not even really being a band, transcending that to be music. I won't give it away too much, so stay tuned next week. In the meantime, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.
through the pain and through the grief, through the lies, through the storm.